Hey, we want to talk to you today about the Eclipse. And I'll tell you what, it is the greatest evolution in air cylinders to come along since the invention of the air cylinder. But to tell you the true gouge, the real facts about it, we brought in an expert from Luxfer. Randy, why don't you tell us what makes the Eclipse so special?
Great. Thank you, Bobby. It's a pleasure to be here at FDIC 2018. So a couple years ago, we looked at some interesting statistics in the fire industry. Number one was that about 40% of all firefighter-related fatalities is due to cardiovascular strain.
Sure.
And weight has a lot to do with that. We also realized that the average weight of a firefighter's PPE is upwards of 70, 75 pounds.
Sure, easily.
Yeah, so our challenge was, how could we develop a cylinder that can actually reduce the amount of weight and therefore improve mobility, enhance ergonomics, but most importantly, reduce the risks associated with that cardiovascular strain.
Absolutely.
So we developed this product, Eclipse, which is actually up to 20% lighter than existing SCBA cylinders.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so that's what Eclipse is all about.
A lot of engineering went into this, and so folks say, well, they made it lighter. Is it less safe? Is the Eclipse less safe? Well, it's safer due to the technology. The engineering that's in here, this is, well, back in my lifetime, my days, they call it space age engineering.
Yeah.
But Elon Musk would be jealous, right? This is the kind of engineering that turns the page. So a lot of the stuff that they used to have to do to bottles, by using new technology, they've eliminated. Carbon fiber, like the modern day aircraft. Lightweight, but incredibly strong. So what would be the lifetime of a cylinder like this?
This cylinder is going to be a 15-year cylinder. 15. You know, I do want to mention also, because I know several of you use different variations or different options, this will actually come in a 30-minute, a 45-minute, as well as a 60-minute, as well as 4,500 PSI and a 5,500 PSI version.
So let's talk about why it really matters for a second here. Let's talk in firefighter speak what the real gouge is on stress. So what we know from Dr. Denise Smith and Gavin Hoare and all the other good folks doing the research is that as we work, our body temperature, our core temperature gets hotter, right? You put on your gear, you feel warmer. What that's doing inside your blood is it's making parts of your blood that form clots, right, to increase in number. When they get to your heart, that's a really bad thing. Even if you're in good shape, you may have a little arteriosclerotic disease. And so we talked, Randy mentioned the deaths, but how many firefighters do you know that have had heart issues, right? Have had heart attacks. Yeah. And when the blood gets blocked, part of that muscle can die, can end your career. So we don't know the hundreds of thousands of firefighters who, due to heat stress, may have had a cardiovascular event and succumbed, right? So what's so important about reducing weight is that not only do you reduce that stress from the heat, but ergonomics is a big thing, right?
Yes.
We're on ladders, we're crawling underneath things, we're carrying other tools. That all adds to that stress. So when we talk about heat stress, don't just think about your bunker gear, think about that load. The cylinder on your back is a huge part of that load. So whether you're looking to get the 30-minute bottle, the 45-minute bottle, you can get it in an Eclipse. Ask for Eclipse. Go to Luxfer gas cylinders, Luxfer, just remember Lux, L-U-X-F-U-R, Luxfer, that's the New York in me, Luxfer. It's L-U-X-F-E-R, Luxfer.com, put it in Google, Luxfer, it's going to come up, and you're going to be amazed that these guys have had your back since you came on the job. They got your six, as we would say in the industry. Yes. These are the people who have been taking care of you, been keeping you alive in IDLH environments. They want to do more for you. They partner up with some of the best people in the fire service to find out how they can do even more to get connected with you and serve you better. Luxfer is one of the best companies we've had the privilege to work with here at FDIC. They're amazing friends of ours. They're amazing friends of MSA, of Scott, of Honeywell, of Avon, of Draeger, of Interspiro. You can trust these guys.
Yes. As Bobby mentioned, Luxfer is actually the largest manufacturer of high-pressure aluminum and carbon composite cylinders in the world. And in fact, Bobby, we have over 20 million SCBA cylinders in use globally today.
Wow.
Wow. Really interesting statistic. We also did some recent calculations, and do you know how much carbon fiber we actually use on one of these cylinders?
No, sir.
12,000 miles worth of carbon fiber, which takes us from Los Angeles all the way to Dubai. That's how much strength is actually within this Eclipse cylinder today.
So when you say that, is that the thread?
That's the filament, correct.
Filament. So it's actually, there's a process. We're going to get with our good friends at Luxfer, and we're actually going to bring you a series of a visit where we're going to show you how this is done.
Absolutely.
I've been there. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. I had no idea the technology, just the engineering. It's phenomenal, and you'll get to see it. Hey, so I've got Ian here, and Ian is an engineer behind the new Eclipse cylinder, which is 20% lighter. So he's the guy who knows how it happened, how he made it 20% lighter. So I'm going to let him talk to you about it. But this is the Luxfer ECLIPSE, which you can now spec for your next SCBA. Ian, how did you make it 20% lighter?
Yeah, well, we started out with a lightweight aluminum liner. So that's this aluminum part here.
Okay.
What that does is it holds the gas in, contains it, makes sure there's no leaks, and it also allows you to thread in your valve. Following that, we wrap a high-strength carbon fiber around that liner to provide the structural support. Carbon fiber is extremely light, extremely strong, and at any given time we're wrapping 72,000 individual filaments of carbon fiber around this liner. Following that, we did a great deal of testing and development to ensure that this is durable, safe, and can survive the harshest conditions. And we went and sought DOT, TC, and EN approval for the cylinder, and now we have it approved.
Super. So if it's lighter, does that mean that there's a chance, could I damage it by overpressurizing it? I mean, can it take the kind of pressures our compressors?
Absolutely. There's no way that your compressor is going to be able to overfill this cylinder to a dangerous level. The burst pressure on this cylinder is in excess of 15,000 psi, whereas you're filling it to 45 or 5,500. Right. So it's really just as safe as any other cylinder you're using.
So this is actually tested to almost 4 or 5 times what I can...
Exactly.
Wow, that's really impressive. So if it's lighter and it's carbon wrapped, how's it going to hold up in the fire? In other words,
it's just as much as your current cylinders. It's carbon fiber is very resistant to fire conditions. We test it to very high temperatures, much higher than you or I can take. And additionally, we do test it in a fire setting to ensure that even if it does, for some reason, be exposed to a fire, it will still safely vent the contents of the cylinder without rupturing.
Oh, okay. So like a pop-off valve on a big tank.
Exactly.
It'll pop off before it'll blow.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's lighter, it's arguably safer, and it's stronger.
Exactly.
So that's the win. That's a win. And you engineered it for Luxfer.
I did, yes, along with our team.
So if you want to hear more about it, it's luxfer.com. That's pretty easy, luxfer.com. Luxfer.com, the Eclipse cylinder, spec it for your next SCBA. You could take it on our current SCBAs. It'll fit any SCBA, right?
Yeah, the OEMs will have to approve it for their sets, and you can spec it in.
So if you're wearing Scott, MSA, Honeywell, Interspiro, Draeger, Avon, call them up. Say, hey, I'm wearing this particular model of your pack. I'd like to put the Eclipse on it. Can we get that done? Simple as that. It's your pack. It's your department. It's our fire service. Luxfer gets it. Luxfer hears us. They've got our 6. Tell people you want the Luxfer ECLIPSE on your back.